Coming up, DSA 100K, ICE updates, and how you can join the socialist fight. But first, the big red machine is powering up. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MDC Dispatch. I'm your host, Tony, and I'll be bringing you the news and events from Metro DC DSA. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and be on the lookout for a new Dispatch episode every first and third Sunday each month. Following a record vote of 600 members earlier this month, Metro DC DSA officially endorsed Shayla Adams-Stafford for Prince George's County Council and Janeese Lewis George for DC Mayor. Both were previously endorsed by MDC DSA. Adams-Stafford was endorsed in a special election in 2025 and is running for re-election. And Lewis George was endorsed in her successful 2020 and 2024 runs for DC Council. Both victories were secured by the resolve of a working-class front organized against corporate-backed machines. These endorsements add to an already packed electoral season for the chapter, with candidates already endorsed in DC, PG County, and Montgomery County, and members already mobilizing across the region to bring a red wave to the DMV. The Electoral Working Group is holding a virtual phone banking organizer meeting at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow, Monday, February 16th, and will host regularly scheduled virtual fundraising phone banks for Lewis George leading up to the DC Democratic primary on June 16th. The first of the season will be at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, February 17th. Door-to-door canvassing by DSA members is set to begin for Adams-Stafford and Lewis George in the coming weeks. Stay tuned for updates and fill out the Electoral Volunteer Interest Form at the link in the description if you'd like to get involved. In the race for the Ward 1 seat on the DC Council, according to recent campaign financing reports, former MDC DSA Chair Aparna has raised more local dollars than her four competitors combined. Raj's campaign has been backed by an inspired volunteer army of socialists, trade unionists, and progressive allies that has left opponents outmaneuvered in the early stages of the election. Securing victory will require this base of tenants and workers to keep up mobilization in the face of corporate-funded operatives who have begun to mobilize in opposition. The Ward 1 campaign has maintained ongoing door-knocking expeditions that continued in the raucous streets of Adams Morgan this weekend. Volunteers are talking to voters about Raj's plans for expanding rent control, making childcare free and universal, standing up to Trump and other federal politicians attacking DC, the so-called rat form to deal with the Ward 1 pest crisis, and more. Tomorrow, February 16th, DSA will be launching a phone bank to get the word out about Aparna's campaign. RSVP to join this virtual effort at the link in the description. In Montgomery County, Maryland, Gabriel Acevero is running for re-election to the Maryland House of Delegates, and Josie Caballero is running for Montgomery County Council. Acevero's victory would keep a pro-tenant, pro-worker, socialist advocate in the state house. Caballero's victory would empower the pro-tenant bloc on the Montgomery County Council, enabling a robust defense of the recently implemented rent stabilization laws, the strongest in the region. Both are priorities for socialist power building. And in Prince George's County, Metro DC DSA continues door-knocking operations for Imara Crooms in his race for county council. Imara's resistance to data center expansion has received wide attention in the county, as corporate-backed local politicians have proposed bills that would rezone valuable land, including residential and agricultural zones, to enable massive expansion. Although the county executive has shut down this proposal for now, a community-backed insurgency on the council is necessary to maintain the local front against big tech's planned exploitation of the region. Imara, the only candidate running in the county's fair elections program, has vowed to maintain the community coalition's position against corporate looting. To learn more about these races and other chapter business, socialists and allies are invited to join the next MDC DSA chapter general body meeting on Sunday, February 22nd from 2 to 4 p.m. For more on this meeting, all of these campaigns, and how you can join them, see the links in the description. In a powerful testament to America's appetite for political change, the Democratic Socialists of America has surpassed 100,000 members for the first time in its history. This milestone, achieved during a recent national membership drive, represents more than just a number. It is a clear signal that working people are flocking to an organization that champions the working class over billionaire donors. The surge of membership is largely fueled by the energy and inspiration from recent high-profile electoral victories such as Zohran Mamdani's successful mayoral run in New York City, which proved that a bold, unapologetically democratic socialist agenda centered on tenants' rights and the working class is a winning message. DSA's growth reflects a mass movement of people ready to fight for a society that prioritizes people over profits. In Minneapolis, the retreat of Border Patrol Chief Greg Bavino, chased out by the people of Minneapolis, suggests that continued pressure against immigration and customs enforcement is draining the occupiers of their capacity and range of motion. His replacement, Tom Homan, has since taken charge of Minneapolis's occupation by ICE and announced a drawdown of a third, about 700 federal agents. This loud, limited retreat may be meant to signal that ICE has relented, but dispatches from the ground suggest that they have not slowed their assault on area communities. A report released last week by journalist Ken Klippenstein suggests that the Department of Homeland Security has an enormous munitions cache prepared for use on the people of Minneapolis. At the time of recording, the proposed budget to massively inflate the DHS is stalled. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has announced that all ICE agents will now wear body cameras, a measure publicly presented to imply accountability, but which will massively expand ICE's surveillance capacity. The occupation of DC, although not as public or intense since the summer invasion, still continues. ICE and CBP agents travel around secretly, deputized federal officers are still seen performing jump outs, and the National Guard still marches in bizarre patterns in DC's federal and nightlife corridors. Despite pressure from DC locals, DC police continue to openly collaborate with federal agencies in traffic stops, fare enforcement, arrests for open containers, evictions, and so on. Meanwhile, Republicans in Congress have resumed exercising colonial dominance over the people of DC, recently overturning a bill passed by the DC Council that expanded DC's earned income tax credit and created a local version of the child tax credit for families in the district. This repeal is a clear and brazen affront to home rule, DC's right to self-govern, and is being exercised to force compliance of locals who loathe Trump and the Republican regime. The DC Council has attempted to organize local pressure against Congress, but their decision last year to overturn Initiative 82, repeal TOPA rights and other eviction protections, and hand over billions in tax credits for the construction of RFK Stadium has left them with little credibility among locals longing for freedom. Still, across the DMV, pressure against ICE's collaboration with local law enforcement is working. In Howard County, emergency legislation revoked a building permit to convert an office park warehouse into a detention center, after leaked footage revealed the horrifying human rights violations at an ICE facility in Baltimore. Statewide demands led to a bill prohibiting and ending 287G agreements with state employees and agencies. The Baltimoreans' fight isn't over, though. The ban on 287Gs does not fully prevent local law enforcement from collaborating with ICE, and another detention center is being planned for a site in Hagerstown. Baltimore DSA has called on Maryland residents to contact their state delegates to support HB 630, which would prohibit buildings not originally designed for detention from being used as immigration detention centers. Submit written or oral testimony at the hearing on February 18th and tell their public officials to shut down the ICE facility in Baltimore. In DC, the DC Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression, alongside the Families Not Feds Coalition and others, held a rally at ICE headquarters on Friday to mark the 1-month anniversary of Renee Good's murder by ICE agents and to demand justice for all victims of ICE terror. Metro DC DSA's Abolition Working Group is also holding 2 virtual events to deepen local resistance to ICE interventions and collaboration by MPD, DC's Metro Police Department. On Thursday, February 19th, Metro DC DSA will be holding an Abolish ICE teach-in to cover the connection between policing and ICE, the process of constructing safe communities without carceral systems, and initiate a panel for DC area community members to discuss what they've been seeing in the streets. On Monday, February 23rd, Socialists will be holding an MPD testimony writing workshop where locals can learn about the process of writing to the DC Council about MPD's budget and oversight. Anyone considering testifying at the MPD Oversight hearing on Wednesday, February 25th, is encouraged to sign up soon. The deadline to sign up is February 23rd, with the testimony submission deadline in early March. Locals can RSVP for either event and sign up to testify at the hearing at the links in the description. Join the chapter for any of the huge slate of events coming up in the next few weeks. RSVPs linked in the description. On President's Day, phone bank with Metro DC DSA in support of our endorsed candidate in Ward 1 DC Council race, Aparna Raj. You'll call fellow chapter members, ask folks to donate to Aparna's campaign, and explain more about how to volunteer. It's Monday, the 16th at 1 p.m. Also on the 16th, the Maryland General Assembly is currently in session at Annapolis, and they are considering legislation to protect tenants and immigrants, support worker organizing, and stop funding the genocide in Gaza. Join MoCo DSA to meet with our Montgomery County lawmakers and ask them to support our organizing priorities. Carpooling is available. Join an organizing call to learn how to help lead phone banks for Janeese Lewis George's mayoral campaign. DSA will be organizing phone banks on a regular basis to help fundraise and recruit volunteers. So join us at 7:30 Monday the 16th to learn how to help out and elect a socialist mayor of DC. And an opportunity to phone bank is the very next day on the 17th. The Prince George's branch of Metro DC DSA is phone banking for a longtime chapter member, Imara Crooms, who's running for the District 9 seat of the Prince George's County Council. Imara is very close to satisfying the minimum requirements to qualify for public financing, and we can help get him there. Wednesday, the 18th. As previously mentioned, join ICE Out and Abolition, How We Build True Safety for All of Us, hosted by the Abolition and Political Education Working Groups with partners Thursday, the 19th. Metro DC DSA has endorsed two amazing candidates for Montgomery County Council, Zola Shaw and Josie Caballero. Show MoCo that DSA stands with our endorsed candidates by turning up and turning out to knock on neighbors' doors. Zola and Josie support working families, and that's why we support them. Saturday, the 21st. Prince George's DSA branch is hosting its February General Body Meeting on Saturday, the 21st. The branch will recap recent events, discuss upcoming ones, and hear from a DSA member who sits on Hyattsville City Council. This meeting will also be a book swap, so please bring a book that you'd like to pass along to a new reader. Last but not least, Metro DC DSA will be hosting its February General Body Meeting on Sunday, the 22nd. Join your comrades to discuss chapter business and be part of the governing process of our organization. Subscribe to the weekly update for the most up-to-date list of events every week at the link in the description. More than just DSA is hosting events in the coming weeks, so are many other groups. Here are a couple of other upcoming events. Real and Meal presents the Black Power Mixtape, 1967 to 1975, on Monday the 16th. The film brings electrifying, long-lost footage of the Black Power movement back to life with intimate moments from Angela Davis, Stokely Carmichael, Huey P. Newton, and more. Come discuss how the spirit of Black Power continues to inspire change today. Baldwin House is launching Neighbors Support Neighbors, a mutual event series on Saturday the 21st. Join them for a walking tour in the community, wheat pasting, and learning from one of their co-op leaders. Find these activities and many more at the calendar of events on the website or in the full weekly update linked in the description. The Democratic Socialists of America is growing. If you're not a member of DSA and would like to connect with other like-minded activists, community organizers, and neighbors, Visit dsausa.org and join today. Metro DC DSA is the third largest chapter in America with over 3,000 members. We're very active in the community and have groups focused on labor, tenant rights, LGBTQ rights, environmental activism, and much more. DSA is the largest socialist organization in America, and we would love to have you as a member. These and other stories, along with links and sources, can be found in the Metro DC DSA Weekly Update newsletter, which you can find linked in the description. This production has been a collaboration of members of Metro DC DSA. Look for new videos on the first and third Sunday every month. I'm your host, Tony, signing off with a reminder, a better world is possible.